every morning and evening, Mr. Speaker. The best and where they can draw their money is through Fuliza, and sometimes, Mr. Speaker, those kind of low Fuliza, Mr. Speaker. Remember, Mr. Speaker, when I had a meeting recently, His Excellency the President had a meeting, and they brought down to 40% the churches, Mr. Speaker, where these Fulizas are. Mr. Speaker, as we talk today, we have people who are benefiting from that excursion, from that good organization of the President. Mr. Speaker, I will not have said much and better that. Also, Mr. Speaker, for this nation to grow, we cannot borrow and use what we have borrowed, Mr. Speaker, for purposes of paying salaries and for purposes of other things, Mr. Speaker. We must borrow for development. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, if we have to move that direction, I will encourage this House that when the President will bring to this House the budget cuts, Mr. Speaker, those that we can have less borrowing, Mr. Speaker, for this nation to grow, Mr. Speaker, this House will expedite that with the easiest and whatever, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, not forgetting the fertilizer. You know, Mr. Speaker, if you don't plant food, if the country has no food, that country, Mr. Speaker, will spend on buying deer cars. That country, Mr. Speaker, will spend on building prisons. Because, Mr. Speaker, without food, anybody will go and steal anything, and that, Mr. Speaker, will lead him to that jail term, Mr. Speaker. Without forgetting that, Mr. Speaker, His Excellency made a very, very noble statement, Mr. Speaker, where he said that all CSS, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know, the last parliament, where you put a question, Mr. Speaker, to a CS who doesn't know how we run this constituency, Mr. Speaker, they respond the way they want without taking in much seriousness. So if, Mr. Speaker, the proposal of CSS coming to answer question on the floor of this House, Mr. Speaker, to us, we shall have now the time to use the hammer that we have to show them, Mr. Speaker, that we really work, and therefore they will perform in their fields, Mr. Speaker. So that, Mr. Speaker, when it comes to this House, we shall do the proper legislation to make sure, Mr. Speaker, that comes up and we make it fruitful. Mr. Speaker, not forgetting the judiciary. When the President, Mr. Speaker, saw how the backlog of cases in this country, and then he, on day one, the Speaker of his office, he decided, Mr. Speaker, to increase the staff of the division, Mr. Speaker. Not only that, Mr. Speaker, he looked at how to bring out the finances and how to run properly, Mr. Speaker, so that we can avoid the issue of case backlogs. And the best way, Mr. Speaker, to treat the pandemic of lack of completion of corruption cases in this country, Mr. Speaker, is to do what he did. There, Mr. Speaker, I wish also to put forward the point that, Mr. Speaker, when His Excellency congratulated the House and the maturity of democracy in Kenya by having single constituencies, Mr. Speaker, electing 29 women in this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that was notable. We really say this is the best, Mr. Speaker, the country is maturing. But, Mr. Speaker, the Maja, I know you, Mr. Speaker, and from where you come from. Mr. Speaker, don't try this at home. Because, Mr. Speaker, if you try this at home, some of us will lose jobs, Mr. Speaker. I want to come up again. But, Mr. Speaker, you are very happy when the President congratulated this country that the democracy is maturing. We have improved to single constituency member of parliament, improving to 29 members. So, Speaker, that is very good because he gave it was not very well done, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, don't try this in Bungoma. Don't try this at home. Some of us will lose jobs because, you know, we are not to that extent, Mr. Speaker. I would also want to put this. But, Mr. Speaker, also CRC. Mr. Speaker, CRC, Mr. Speaker, SRC, Mr. Speaker, should come to terms. No, excuse me. It was CRC. Yes, it was CRC, Honorable Bokose. CRC, Mr. Speaker, is listing, Mr. Speaker, people in this country, CRB, in this country, Mr. Speaker, and the listing, Mr. Speaker, is punitive. So when we move to that direction, Mr. Speaker, we want only CRB to be used, Mr. Speaker, to give corrections and advice, not to the level of making Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, look like they're slaves in their own country.